Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Vecchione.
And I'm Greg Stone.
And we are the Macaroni Rascals. It's a great new podcast. Me, my friend Greg Stone, we riff, we talk Italian stuff, we talk comedy. We basically just have a good time. Greg?
Yeah, I think it's great, and you're great. I love you, and we'll do more.
I love you, and I love doing this podcast from the darkest corner of your apartment. Welcome to the Macaroni Rascals, everybody. I'm Mike Vecchione, and via satellite in Astoria, Queens, Greg Stone. Greg, how are you?
Yeah, it's a good one over here, Mike. It's a wild storm here in Astoria. God bless that you missed it. It is, the snow is, actually it stopped. It's fine.
It started already?
Today. It started, kind of, but really nothing. Nothing, man.
Well, when you feel alone, because I'm in a hot area. I'm in Aruba, and Michael V. Suarez is in Texas, and you're all alone drinking your iced coffees, probably some kind of a fancy Frappuccino, something, knowing what kind of upper echelon Italian you are. Mm-hmm. You know, you look down on all of us with your double mocha latte Frappuccino.
Just it's New York elite culture. It's New York elite culture, Mike, and you know that I'm New York elite. Okay,
you know that.
I won't even let my planes fly over the middle of the country. I say go around. We go over Europe and that way to California. I say hello to my French friends. I say hello to Northern Italy. I never go to Southern Italy because that's where the dirt people live. And then I go around India. I try to go around into Sweden, and then boom, California. And I only stay in LA. Only LA.
What's that flight pattern called? White supremacy?
Yeah, we call it the above the rest flight. Better thans.
Now, Greg, first of all, how are you? How's Tita? Is Tita still safe?
Safe as she can be, you know. Yeah. She's not getting in any trouble when she's locked in the closet, you know. Only the trouble she's going to get in is if she hangs herself with a loose sleeve from a coat somewhere, but that's why I keep her hands bonded. So I think she's safe.
It's for her own protection, right, Greg?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Is that what you're going to tell the jury?
No, they'll never catch me. I love that you think they'd ever catch me.
You have Cleveland kidnapper vibe to the T, man. You really do. Oh, don't go in there. Don't go in there. It's my audio equipment.
People don't consider XLR wires to be bindings. I just say these aren't bindings. Yeah. These are my wires. It took me a long time to get that sentence out. Longer than usual.
No, it's okay, Greg.
You know? Whoa,
it took a while. You sent me a text. I'm finding parking right now.
Mm-hmm. For my butt.
And people around the country who are watching this, the other rascals, the more rural rascals, they don't understand what a challenge parking is. Greg, can you break it down for us?
Well, I would love to, but I do love that you just hit upon the rural rascals. I'd love to have that fan base. The rural rascals.
The rural rascals. They have more room for their elbows to roll their spaghetti, Greg.
I like that. Can I just tell you this parking met yesterday? My father, how do you say a father in Italy? Papi?
For you, it's stepfather.
No, this was my real father, actually.
Oh, was your biological?
My BOD. My bio dad.
Your DNA dad?
Yeah, DNA dad. What is it? How do you say a father in Italy? Gunagacci.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Anyway, my dad comes over. He doesn't like to find parking in New York. That's why they won't come. So I say, you come, I'll valet you. I'm so tired. I valet him. You know, I find parking. I cannot for 1 second remember where I parked the car. It took me an hour and a half walking down every block looking for the car, right? Finally get back. My dad's just like, he's laughing. I'm like, oh, it's probably padre. Thank you, Mike. My padre. Then my padre looks at me. I go, hey, I don't know if you want to. I look at the Google Maps. It's going to be an hour and 45 minutes for him to get home. It's usually only 35, 40 minutes. So I go, you got to wait for traffic. We wait 3 hours. We watch House of Gucci, which I have to recommend for the Italian movie of the week. This is a great movie.
Really?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little second here. Hour and 45. My dad they wait. We watch the movie. He's getting ready to leave. and I realized I had avoid tolls, avoid highways on my GPS. So he didn't even need to stay. I literally I lost his car that made him stay for 4 or 5 extra hours, all because I had avoid tolls and highways, which I don't know why I would have those settings on. I don't do back roads to comedy shows.
Hey, Greg, did you set a tortellini trap? We have to relate everything back to pasta on this. We need to make more of an effort to relate everything back to pasta.
A tortellini trap is nice. It's when someone smells the tortellini and they come in and then you cage them. I like that.
So do you routinely lie to your family in order to get them to spend time with you?
That's the only way to get them to spend time with me.
Yeah. You tricked your dad, who's older than you, with technology. You go, oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Oh, you're going to be crammed up in traffic. The GPS, the phone wizard. He doesn't know what the GPS is, these older people. The phone wizard says you're going to be in traffic a long time. And then you tricked them to watching House of Gucci. Or when you were single, you called it what? House of Gucci, I think, right?
That's good. Boom.
Hey, Greg, thank you.
House of Gucci.
Thank you. House of Gucci.
Did you see it yet?
No, I'm waiting for you to recommend it.
Call or recommend, but I will say that I only watched about a middle of it. But people kept complaining about it, saying it was over the top. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It's not over the top enough for how my Italian people are. It wasn't.
Right.
And I'm so sorry to abandon that and to jump onto something else. Jared Leto, I had no idea he was in this movie. He plays a real Gavone. He's getting prosthetics. You can't even tell. It's amazing. The movie, I loved it. I loved House of Gucci.
Would you rate his performance as 30 Seconds to Mars? That's his band.
I know. Band. I have that album, and I love that album. I don't even know who told you about it. Who told you about it?
Dude, I'm hipper than you think. Just when you think I'm out of the loop, Greg, I'm hipper than you think, dog. Okay?
I thought you just listened to Michael Bublé.
I do. I do. Bublé is my guy. Bublé is no Manilow. Manilow is my guy. Manilow is my guy, dog.
No. Did I ever tell you the time I met Tom Jones?
Yeah. I
was working for this place, The Syndicate, who I actually think is the Laugh Button now randomly, but they were like a music thing. They used to do music. So I was handing out flyers at a Tom Jones concert. My friend, we get back, we're done, and someone goes, would you like to meet him? And we're like, oh, yeah. And they go, give us something to sign. He'll sign it. They walk us up to the door. They open the door. It's almost like a movie where they couldn't afford to get the real Tom Jones. He wouldn't turn around. He was looking in the mirror, like one of those classic like mirrors that you would have with like the lights around it, as he's getting ready for the show. He doesn't turn around. He puts his hand up. He takes the piece of paper. He signs it. All I ever saw was the back of his head, and he goes, tell him thanks for the help. And he leaves. And then, what's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa. He was amazing. So also, midway through the show, this is the thing we need to do. Women just come up during the show, hand him panties, throw bras at him. A lady handed him full 12 roses that he then took in the middle of his act. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I know what that's like, Greg. I mean, maybe you don't know what that's like, but that's not even worth mentioning to me because I get it. Women throwing their panties at me after my first 10 minutes on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, they see it and then they go, this guy needs my panties.
I start doing that at my shows. I mean, of course, it's going to be, of course, I'm going to have to pay people to do it, but I'm going to have people, when I'm at the cellar, I'm going to have people throw panties at me during the middle of the show.
Well, I think at our shows, it'll be like a half a baked ziti instead of panties.
That would be burned my face. Someone just throws a hot plate of lasagna on your face that you burn.
Just some leftovers.
Don't even give the rural rascals that idea. All right,
the
we don't need that.
Rural rascals will come out. There are Italians in these flyover states, as you call them. You're so House of Gucci right now. It really is making me furious.
How do we go on tour? How do we take the Rascals on the road?
I don't know. We need support from our Patreons.
Yeah, but also just have them come to shows. Let's tell the top clubs in America they need to book the Rascals.
They need to book the Macaroni Rascals.
Together on a show. And the whole trick, all this really is about, well, I love doing comedy, but I love to spend time with you over a weekekend.
It's and like I love to spend time with you over the weekend, and don't tell your wife.
I'll tell her, and she'll say, I approve. Oh, she'll say, whoa, because I got a sock in her mouth in the closet.
No. Yeah, it's canceled.
Oh, who's going to cancel me? I'll cancel them. Reset power.
Cancel them back. We're the one podcast that cancels people back. How about that?
We'll cancel you.
We'll cancel you back.
Speaking of which, I just canceled Spectrum because they upped my rate. I'm an RCN. Actually, I canceled RCN. I'm a Spectrum man now.
You went from RCN to Spectrum?
Yeah, RCN, they're like, thanks for being a customer. Thanks for being our friend for 15 years. Thanks for being supporting us for past. I was with them for 7 years, and they wouldn't give me the rate of the new people that joined. And I said, well, then abafangul to you. And I called Spectrum, and they said, with open arms, they said, with arms wide open. They created me, and they hugged me, and they said, come on in. You're welcome here now. Now I'm a Spectrum man.
Well, first of all, I thought RCN was a COVID test. So I was a little confused the first time. I thought it was a new test. And then Spectrum just sounds like disabled. You have a disability?
Yeah, he's Spectrum.
Right?
I'm on the Spectrum.
You're
That's what I tell people. I'm on the Spectrum. And they go, you have Renaissance man? Fuck, I can't get that. What's that word? Rain Man. What's Rain Man have?
Rain Man. Yeah.
Can I take that again? Can you
take it again?
Take it again. Send me up.
This ex-performer coming to the stage. He performs at clubs and colleges all up and down the East Coast. Put your hands together for Mr. Greg Stone.
How you guys doing? I recently found out I'm on the Spectrum. No, not. What was the word again? Fuck, I get autism. Dude, I'm sorry. Just one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage now, a very talented performer. He plays clubs and colleges all up and down the East Coast. Put your hands together for Mr. Greg Stone.
Thanks, everybody. I recently found I'm on the Spectrum. No, not autism. Cable internet.
We'll be right back with John Cicada.
I like this segment because so many times I fuck up my words. And if you just let me take it again, I could try it again.
Dude, that's the beauty of this podcast. You can always take it again. And in macaroni language, we say there's always room for seconds.
Sometimes there's not, though.
Somebody has to keep bringing it back to the macaroni language.
I love it.
How can we threaten these clubs? We write them a letter. We write them a handwritten letter. Look, Macaroni Rascals wants to work your club. The water is boiling. It's time to put the noodles in.
Mike Vecchione, I promise you, I will write a handwritten letter tonight with 2 Polaroid pictures of us as our headshots.
Yeah.
Maybe if you want to give me some of the wording, I'll write it in and I'll send it to the Denver Comedy Works and tell them that we want to come do that club. Oh, you probably do that club on your own.
Face on that wall. The Comedy Works.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I've been not working. I've been laid off. I haven't been working. The Comedy Works.
Not good.
Denver, which is a great club. But
great club.
At best, we get booked. At worst, we have a new pen pal. What do you think?
What if they just wrote back? That would be hilarious. They're like, look, we can't book you, but I'd love to keep correspondence going.
Yeah.
Like old World War II.
We don't
lovers.
Perform that much. We're more a keep in touch podcast.
That's great.
We'd love to touch base with you.
Okay. I know you want to keep us on track because you sent a whole thing of things to talk about today.
Yeah, I did, Greg. Somebody's got to reel in your eclectic energy. We need to not reel it in. That's the wrong word. I don't want you to get offended. Harness it. We need to harness. You're like wind energy, Greg. We have to figure out how to harness it.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Do you ever trip over your cord? Because I know you're plugged in because you're on, baby.
Oh,
that was a lot. That didn't get there. That didn't get there.
Umbilical. Umbilical. Because you just had a baby. What did you do with the umbilical cord, Greg?
I ate it, of course. I've said this once times. I said it twice times. I did a Lady in the Tramp spaghetti to a kiss to my wife's. That's how we. You both take the umbilical cord, you put in your mouth, and you slowly chew it to a kiss, and that's how you bring in the baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's shocking too, because Calvin was adopted.
Yeah, we found the cord.
Wouldn't it be great? After all that, you're like, and he was adopted. That's the most amazing. We'll be right back with Toe the Wet Sprocket.
How great would it be if you just walk in after every birth, every labor delivery, you just kick it after every baby comes out, you just walk in and you go, "You gonna eat that?" That's your catchphrase. You gonna eat that? That's what the doctor ordered.
Hey, I think that if Macaroni Rascals, if this podcast should somehow fail and we have to start another podcast, You Gonna Eat That is the perfect name for our new podcast. If this one goes puts up, we go, You Gonna Eat That?
I kind of want to tank this podcast and start.
You're gonna
eat that pot. You're gonna eat that. Start. You gonna eat that podcast where we just go and eat places.
No,
fucked up.
It's something. There's something with dropping the food on the floor. It's something to do with the 5-second rule. You drop the food on the floor, and then you go eat that, and then you see if the person eats it or not.
Yeah,
and we definitely eat it. We eat it every time. Let me tell you something to our listeners. We'll eat stuff off the floor every time. Don't you push up.
Yeah. Fuck. I just got a text that said both the people on my show tonight canceled. There's only 3 people booked in the show.
Oh, wow.
So I guess I got to find somebody. Nobody
lives here. I guess you're doing an hour and a half.
Anyway, back to the show. My name is Greg Stone. I am here with the lovely Mike Vecchione, who has recently found himself hot and sweaty in Aruba. What's cooking, Mike?
In Aruba.
Damn,
kicking it in Aruba. Got up. I knew I had this podcast. We knew I had it during the day. So I got up and I got a workout in, went running in the heat. And now I'm back and I'm fresh.
Well, I'll tell you this. Your energy is hot fire, my friend. Maybe.
Well, you know what I did? I wrote the structure for the podcast this morning. A little bit of coffee. Went, got a workout, came back. A little bit more coffee. I'm on point.
On point.
Yeah.
I'm a
you have to figure out, like, people don't realize with a podcast, at least for me, I don't know if you're this way, Greg, where it's like you have to peak at the right time. It's like doing a show. It's like you don't want to be tired for the show, even if you're performing at 1, 2 in the morning. Like, you got to make sure that your energy peaks when you go on stage. It's the same thing when you do a podcast. You got to make sure your energy is up for the podcast.
Yeah. It's
so
a
whatever
marathon.
you have to do to get to that point.
Yeah. I don't eat a full turkey dinner. Learn that mistake. Tryptophan is not good for the PODs.
Tryptophan. You just got tryptophan. That's our new prank show.
That's why I got canceled, because I tripped a fan, a guy who came to my show. That might be the dumbest thing I've ever said. And
no, I think that's a great, and that's a clip.
I have.
You say the dumbest thing. I say that's a clip to promote this episode.
I will respect you less for laughing at that joke. No, I said it, and I hate myself. But now everyone involved with that joke also gets hate by me.
Well, I'm sorry about that, House of Gucci. If you gonna hate, you gonna hate.
We should open a restaurant called House of Gnocchi.
Yes.
Just do gnocchi.
Hey, can I tell you something? And you're gonna hate me for this. I didn't know what gnocchi was until I was in college. The people from my towns where my grandparents are from, we must not have made gnocchi at all, because no one ever made it when I was growing up.
Get close to the camera. I want to tell you something. Me too. I had no fucking idea what gnocchi. I think I just learned what gnocchi is.
I knew what ravioli was. I know what cavadels are. I know what all the other stuff is, but we never ate gnocchi growing up.
When people used to tell me gnocchi, I used to say, "You mean the little cell phone that I can throw against the wall and it'll still work?" Because I love those.
Oh,
like, I use my T9 texting on it. I love Nokia. House of Nokia. That's my cell phone store. I'm going to open.
Yeah, prepaid. Prepaid wireless.
Prepaid. I thought you said get paid. That's right. Get paid, boy. Get paid. Let's get paid.
Greg, do you want to get to the storm that's about to hit? Is it about to hit? Did it already hit? I'm sorry. I'm here in the beach. The beach is 5 feet from me. But for you, Greg, is the storm happening?
As of right now, no, it's not. I was so prepared for it to be ready, but I think it's happening tonight. And I got 3 shows tonight. And I was excited to do them.
Well, nothing will stop you. Your talent will get through the snow. Your talent bulldozes.
That's when I don't want to agree with you, but I'll take a compliment, but thanks. Anyway, how you doing? You want to get us cooking? I feel bad because I love that you prepared so much, and I don't want to just keep not letting you get to the segments.
Well, it depends what's gold and what's not gold. If we're already, we have to give the fans what they came for. So if we're already working, if we're cooking, if we have stuff to talk about, and things are going on in your day and things are going on in my day, and we're rolling, I think we can spend whatever. But I know the winter storm is hitting, and I want to know, how do you plan to get to your spots tonight?
Well, I have a car, Subaru Forester Sport. That's right, the Sport. We splurged. That thing's got all types of safety features. So I'm going to blast that thing over the Williamsburg Bridge like a wild man and pop into my spots. Every other comedian is going to be cold and wet, and I'm going to be the greatest comedian because I'm going to be dry, fresh, and hot.
Greg, are you more of a are you, I have a follow-up.
Sure.
Are you more of a four-wheel drive comedian?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
4 wheels on the floor all the time. Full traction, neutral, drive, third gear, first. Those are all parts of the car. The car that is me. That's my soul, my passion, my hilarity. Comedy.
What about if the person in the passenger side doesn't wear their seatbelt? Instead of the beeping sound, you just keep telling jokes until they either put the seatbelt on or dive out of the car?
Well, you know that goddamn beeping sound. My car gets very upset if you are not plugged in. Front and the back. I had a lady in the back the other day, of course. The cars are going, hey, hey, hey. It's like beep, beep. It starts beeping so loud. Everyone goes, what's that noise? Right. I go, put your fucking seatbelt on. Subaru loves safety.
Subaru. Did you tell her? Did you look in the back and go, the macaroni is ready?
Well, what I do now is because I'm a dad is I just reach back and I just swing wildly at whoever's in the back. I just go sit back. Put your seatbelt on. And if a cop pulls me over and they say domestic violence, I go, domestic violence is allowed if the person wouldn't put their seatbelt on. And I'll die for that.
It's for their own good, Greg.
It's for their own good.
I got mouths to feed. Do you say that to the cop? I got to put food on that table. Hey, Greg, the best is the wild swinging in the back. I mean, who hasn't been if you call that domestic abuse, I don't know what to tell you. That's just part of being in a family.
Right. And it's way more dangerous because when your father hits you like in front of you, the brunt of the hand is usually getting around like the face or the hard part. Yeah. But when it's wild, anything could hit anything. A lot of times a fingernail is going to slice your ocular jelly. You got to watch out. That shit's way more dangerous.
If you're not going to wear your seatbelt, you've got to cover up.
Dip and move.
It's going to come, a claw is going to come wildly back there swinging at you. And then if you get pulled over by a cop, you know, you just tell the cop. It's like they don't put their seatbelt on. You want to raise them? I like when people go at the cop. Like it's his responsibility. You want to raise them? Do you want to raise them?
Fine. You take me to jail. You raise that kid. Also, the person I was swinging at was a comedian who was 2 years younger than me. You want to raise that comedian who's not doing that great? You want to raise Freddie G?
You want to raise my openers?
That's what you need to say to your openers. I didn't raise you like that. Whenever they do something, if they do a joke, they goes, I'm sorry, I didn't raise you like that.
You should do it in the middle of the set. Can I get a second with you? Let me get a second with you. I didn't raise you this way. Now you get back in there and you tell some wholesome jokes.
Let me tell you, if the Comedy Works gets back to my letters and we work at the Comedy Works, you need to middle of my set, pull me aside and say you didn't raise me just berate me in the middle of my set. So you didn't raise me like that. That would be so funny to me.
Hey, Greg, can I give you a slap?
Yes. Yes.
Can I give you a slap in the face?
Yes. I will take it.
And they're just going to see the hand motion and I'm going to go, I'm going to be pointing at you and you're going to go like this, your hands in the air in a defensive mode. And then you're going to be explaining yourself. And then I'm going to crack you one. I'm going to crack you one. And I'm going to crack you one. And then you're going to put your head down. And then I'm going to point to the stage. And then you're going to go out there with your head down.
We should do it like we could have like a big sheet in the back that's completely lit up. So all they see is the shadow of this giant shadow of you berating me and then a crack. And then I come back out. I go, so how's everybody doing? How's, make sure you tip your wait staff. And my mom is a weird lady. I'll just keep trying not to cry throughout my set. Just like, isn't it weird that sometimes you try to park your car, you know where it is, and then you find it and you're like, I knew the whole time. Why didn't you tell me, brain? Why did my brain tell me it knew? Just crying.
He's crying and you're wiping a little bit of blood away. A wait staff just gives you a washcloth. Like you just.
Yeah. I come out with peas on my face. Then you come out after. You just clearly just hit me.
I'm weirdly hosting.
The crowd likes you. What?
Hosting. How about it for Greg? Huh? He's a good kid. Still got some work to do though, but he's a good kid.
Look, I'll make domestic violence jokes, but I'll also make about violence against myself. Okay, I make fun of everyone when it comes to violence.
Against yourself, Greg.
That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
before that, I had a joke, well, a true story about how I had my wife locked in the closet with a sock in her mouth.
Yes.
You're just abetting kidnap culture, Greg. It's kidnap culture. Stop it. You know how many people are kidnapped a year? And they listen to your podcast and they go, I guess I'm good then. I guess I'm okay. Even the hilarious Greg Stone is a kidnapper.
Yeah. Well, we do well. I mean, I think Michael has the numbers with kidnappers ages 24 to 35. We do well with those. The demographics say that, you know.
I gotta hit a thing real quick. A quick note. Kidnapping. You know what a kidnap actually is? It's a thing they do a lot. They go to sleep. You want your kid to nap. They should call it child snatching or little boy grabbing. You know, kidnap.
Well, what about little girls get kidnapped also? So it's like we a gender neutral snatch, a gender neutral taking.
That's funny. If someone takes your kid and you're like, it took them. How many kids? No, just one kid. Well, why does it have them? They're set a perimeter. What do they say? Get an APB out on 15 kids.
Wait, get an APB, seal off the perimeter.
So
can you let me handle the cop terms on this podcast, please?
Could you please? Yes, please. That's what. Maybe that's a sketch, right? The cop being like, "So your kid was kidnapped. What were they? You know, boy or girl?" And it was like, actually, it was, you know, some woke joke about how you can't.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I want to cancel a joke mid joke. I'm gonna go. I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. Yourself mid joke, Craig. I like that.
I'm out of here.
All right. So actually, we did hit on it. We are keeping structure. Our first article was on what would Stallone do? What would Stallone do in a winter storm when he had spots?
He would uppercut all those flakes. What?
Stallone would drive a truck through the club, get out, do a hot five, and then drive a Ferrari away. I think that's what he would do.
I think he would arm wrestle Old Man Winter, and the sun would come out. He would grab Old Man Winter and says, "I don't deal with the snow." And then he would over the top him through a window. Old Man Winter would go, "I'm not coming back in there." Sun comes out, the rays shine. It's summer in the middle of January.
Do you think that's how Aruba was invented? It actually happened in Aruba. It's never winter here. Greg, do you celebrate Groundhog's Day?
Yes, every year. Yeah.
It's amazing that no one has a groundhog as a pet, yet they can predict the weather. They actually have a function. Other dogs and cats, like just emotional support, but a groundhog really has a function.
Yeah, you should get him a little vest, a little groundhog, get a vest that says weather support. This is my weather support, groundhog. And you carry him, and you go, "Is it going to rain?" I don't look at my phone. I look at little Kenneth here. "Kenneth, what's the weather?" You know, or he goes back in your backpack. I don't know.
I like a pet that's also a meteorologist, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, that's just so different.
Yeah. A cat that tells you, I can't think of any weather.
Oh, it's okay. What about a beaver? Beavers build stuff, but you know, not like a groundhog. A groundhog is more useful.
How about a hamster that tells you when you haven't had enough water that day?
Oh, dehydration hamster. A hamster.
What did Michael say?
Mike said, "How about a hamster that tells you when you're dehydrated?"
That's pretty great. That's pretty great.
I'd like to cut back for a second, as I'm a little worried. It was when put to the task, I wasn't able to think of one piece of weather. I couldn't think of any weather. Rain. I've got rain now after way too long.
Greg, this isn't the beat yourself up part of the podcast. This is like just a flow of what we want to talk about. Are you suffering from frostbite, Greg? Is that what the problem? Tell our fans.
I'm worried if this should be the "Is Greg having a stroke" podcast, where we decide, we go through the symptoms. Is Greg having a stroke? Well, he can't think of any weather at all. Days of the week, Wednesday. That's all I got. What other days are there?
I think our fans are saying Greg's a little partly cloudy right now.
Hey, that's weather. I'm gonna put that one in there. I'm gonna remember that one if we do that joke again. Partly cloudy.
And Greg, and we'll be right back with sports.
Come on, I'm so fat. There's a groundhog there, Puxatawny Gill.
Yeah.
Let me ask, who wins in a fight, a groundhog or a beaver? A groundhog or a beaver?
I think a beaver, because a beaver's more working class.
Yeah.
Like they build stuff. A groundhog just sees a shadow and ducks, and then that's not, respect to it. I respect for that talent, but they're not getting their tails dirty like a beaver is,
Do you think a cat ever sees a beaver and the cat's like, "How's his house?" And he's just like, "I built that." He's like, "You built that?
Yes.
I built that. You built that. You built a dam?
Yeah.
That's insane. It's insane."
I think that you're right, Greg. I think other animals do get jealous of beavers.
Right. They build homes. They build homes.
Built it with my tail. I pat everything down. I don't even have hands. I built it with my tail, basically.
What if there was an animal that built little tiny skyscrapers, but it was just normal to us, Yeah. We're like, "Oh, that's a little ant skyscraper." You didn't know that? That'd be weird. That's weird. I'm not even, maybe people don't think that's weird. I think that's weird. And I think we should investigate the beavers.
I don't think that people have enough groundhogs. Groundhogs should be a domesticated pet, and so should a beaver. Like these animals are actually getting stuff done. What has your dog done for you? Oh, he's my best friend. He's my best friend. It's like, shut up.
Right. You know who my best friend is? You know who my best friend is? Mike Vecchione. Fuck a dog.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Wait, are you calling me a dog? Calling me a dog?
You're a DAWG. You a dog.
Oh, okay.
You ain't no dog, but you a dog.
Can I get some kind of a sound reaction for the people listening?
Wait. Nope. Nope. There we are. I gotta get more sound effects.
What do you do during a winter storm, Greg? I think the fans want to know.
Like in general?
Yeah, like in general. Like you have a family now. So is it hot chocolate?
Well, I'll tell you what we're doing this winter.
You start a fire even though you don't have a fireplace? I know you're big on that. You're a big pyro.
I love flames. I like to fan the flames. I love flames of passion. I love any kind of flame.
Yeah.
But to get real with you, real, this winter storm, my wife has approved the purchase of the Oculus Quest 2, which I'm not sure if you know what this is. It is a $200 to $300 piece of eyewear that is virtual reality and allows you to play games. And it's a boxing game. So I started playing at my friend's house, and I was tired from doing all the boxing. And I go, "Honey, I think I could use this for exercise." And she goes, "Well, if it's exercise, that's Tita approved." So she approved the purchase of me purchasing an Oculus Quest today, and I'm going to go pick it up after this podcast, and I'm going to start working out using virtual reality. And if it's great, I'm going to buy you one too.
That's pretty great, Greg. How about we save the money and I can just punch you in the face for free?
Not approved. That's not Tita approved.
Greg, I would do that for you. I'd be like, take those glasses off, and then I just hit you for free.
It's not that much money.
Right.
I think you'll love it.
Is that why you cut your RCN and went to Spectrum?
Yeah, $4 off.
Greg?
If after 16 years, that'll be the amount of money I'll be making my money on this Quest.
You really valued your relationship with RCN, and did you feel betrayed that you had to go to another cable company?
Can we be real? Can we be real for a second?
I want you to be as real as you can possibly be.
I know this is silly, but yes, I did feel betrayed. I literally was like, "Man, I've been with you guys for 7 years. I don't know why I have loyalty to a company, but the fact that you won't give me the price of the new people, that's upsetting to me."
These new people coming in, they get a better price than me. I've been here. I've been loyal.
Here.
Did you speak to them on the phone, Greg? I gave you 7 years. I gave you 7 years.
7 years of my life. Flush down the drain.
It's common law cable.
Pick up your gut. I'm married. We're married. We're married. I'm married to the man and the woman. But yeah, I'm a little upset. But Mike, do you think you can get into virtual reality? Have you ever tried it?
Yeah, I tried one. It's crazy. It messed with my brain. My brain's not meant to work that way, Greg. I'm a very meat and potatoes, very rigatoni bolognese kind of guy. And I don't know. I think it might mess with, I'm afraid of it, to be honest. Can I be real? I'm afraid of it.
Tell me why. What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid it's gonna mess with the pathways in my brain. It's going to mess with my brain. I really, just the way that social media messes with your brain. Like none of us realize that we're hypnotized by it, but we all are. We're kind of all walking, unless you make a conscious effort not to be on it. Everybody's walking around like a zombie on their phone. So I feel like it's gonna be the next thing, which is even more addictive than checking your Instagram, checking your Twitter. It's going to be even more addictive. And can I say something about boxing, the game that you're playing? And I was kidding you about hitting you, obviously. But boxing and wrestling is the one sport where it's like, if I want to throw a baseball with you, you have to agree to it. But if I want to fight you, I could just call you. I just call you a name and hit you, and then we're in a fight. It's like you don't have to consent to it.
I apologize, but if we're going to do a bit, we need to do it the right way. Okay? Don't come at me with this shit. Don't you fucking come at me with this shit, with shit that's pretty much bit ready, and then we're just talking about it? No, you hang the fuck on, asshole. Sit the fuck down. Ladies and gentlemen, what a great show we had today. And I got to be honest, we've got more great show, okay? You think that the Beatles reuniting on the beginning of this episode was fun? Fangool to you. Did you think that when finding out George Carlin has been reanimated and is a new guest as an android was cool? Suck my dick. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Mr. Hollywood, Mr. Red Shirt, Mike Vecchione.
Guys, it's such a pleasure.
Sit down, people. Sit down. Mike, what's up? How are you doing, buddy? Long time no see.
It's such a pleasure to be here, Greg. Are we panel? Are we doing panel?
We're doing panel. I called you over already.
Okay. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Oh, thanks for coming in. I know with your tight schedule. Mike, I got to get down to it, right? I got to get to it right now. I look at you. I go, you're lean. You're mean. You're the killing queen. How do you keep in shape? Is it about sport? Something about sports. Sports.
A lot of the fancier people that I'm friends with, the House of Gucci types, they're doing virtual reality boxing. But I like the old school. Boxing is the one sport where you don't have to have consent. Like if we were to play softball or something, I would have to ask you, do you want to go out and have a catch? Do you want to, go out and play some lacrosse? Do you want to go out and shoot some baskets? Like you have to get consent. But boxing is the one sport you don't need consent. You know, if I want to box, I just call you a name and smack you, and then we're in a fight.
Now,
that's why I like it so much, Greg.
That is fucking great. I mean, you can't just throw a baseball bat in someone's hand and throw a ball at them, and all of a sudden it's home run derby, right?
They have to agree to it, and that's the beautiful thing about mixed martial arts or any kind of fighting.
That's amazing. Mike, you are one of the greats. Thanks for stopping by. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after this word from our sponsor, Orangina. That was great. There's a bit there, Mike. You got to work that out. There's something there.
I think that was great.
That's funny. I wonder if people just go, I love Macaroni Rascals. Every episode's the exact same. I love all of these. Never mind. You know what I mean. Moving right along.
Well,
how are we?
It's not the exact same. It's interchangeable. And I think people rely on us for that, Greg.
Stability.
Yeah, stability. I mean, there's so many vegans and fad diets out there. People want a big plate of steaming pasta, and that's what we provide for them comedically.
Yeah, we should do a full. We should rent.
Truth be told, Greg, I would like to get into a kitchen with you.
Oh, I would love to get into a kitchen with you. I'd love to. That's how you. If Katie Hannigan ever smartens up and she goes on the bus home to leave your ass, and if Tita ever wises up her act, gets out of the closet and moves back to Thailand to be with a king, you and I need to start picking up women by saying, I'd love to get in the kitchen with you. That's a great way to get a woman.
Hey, are you saying that both of our plan Bs is to be roommates?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I call it the failed plan A.
If Tita were to leave you and take Calvin, if Katie were to leave me and go back to Indiana, which I'm not ruling out at this point, you want to get a place? Do you want to get a place together with a professional kitchen? Is that what you're saying, Greg?
Some people get studio apartment. I say kitchen apartment. It's one giant kitchen that we sleep in. I sleep in the oven. You sleep in the sink like a little baby. Turn the water on, wash your body. I don't care. And then every morning we wake up and we do meals. And the whole thing is live streamed 24 hours a day.
Right.
And the name of the apartment is Get in the Kitchen. That's the only apartment. The address is Get in the Kitchen.
Get in the kitchen.
Get in the kitchen.
Oh,
I'd love
no,
to get in the
wait.
kitchen with you.
Get in the kitchen could be what about you gonna eat that?
You can eat that.
You're gonna eat that?
You can eat that. You can eat that. That's
But
a,
I
that's
would
a
like
fun.
to get in the kitchen with you. But before the kitchen, Greg, I would like to get into a table, like sit at a table and like try some foods.
Do you
Eat
think
some
this is
foods? Podcasting is all reactions now anyway. So I would like to try different foods, and then we could get the fans are dying for our reaction to it, I think.
what about a super cut for TikTok of me or you going up to maybe 70 times? Anyone in any restaurant, you just walk up to the restaurant, you look at them and you go, you can eat that, to their food, and just see what they say. 1,000 of them. You can eat that? Hey, you can eat that? I think that could have some legs. That you can eat that super cut video.
Greg, that gets us to the next level, and I'm not even kidding. I think we go to the next level with, are you going to eat that?
Are you going to eat that? Are you going to eat that? Yeah, I am. Cool. Thanks. Maybe someone will go, not really. And I go, cool. And we eat. We don't even eat it. You go, I just wanted to know. I wanted to know your appetite level.
Yeah.
I wanted to test the waters on your appetite.
Yeah. Do you mind if I eat that? Do you mind if I have a little pipe of it? In COVID times, it might not go over so well, but
what if we just grabbed a giant...
We go against the CDC on this podcast.
What if we became independent pepper people? Meaning we get one of those giant pepper grinders. We go to any restaurant, any coffee shop, anywhere, and we just ask people, fresh pepper? Go to the park. Someone's at a picnic. You show up. A little fresh pepper? We just start giving people fresh pepper everywhere. No tips accepted. We do it for the love.
Sometimes you knock it out of the park. And I think you did it. We're like the guardian angels, except with pepper.
Yeah, man. Vigilante pepper giving.
Like, how do we look? Do we dress in white with red, like running with the bulls?
Mm-hmm.
We dress all white with red. White. We have to dress the same, like we're in a gang.
Mm-hmm.
All white, I say, with a red scarf and a beret. Mm-hmm. And then we walk up and ask people for fresh pepper. No tips accepted. Anybody eating anything, we ask for fresh pepper.
Fresh pepper. A dog eating his own shit at the park. Hey, buddy, you want a little fresh pepper? We don't discriminate. No tips accepted. We don't
discriminate, Greg.
No.
Any animal eating anything. Any person eating anything. Any person eating any animal. Any vegetarian eating any animal or vegetable or mineral.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Serious question. Serious. With all your heart. No jokes. Do not try to be funny on this. There's no need. Out of 100 people, how many people do you think take the fresh pepper?
$25.
Mike says 25. I would say 0. I don't think
nobody takes fresh pepper.
I don't think anyone's going to take the fresh pepper from a stranger in a white suit and a red beret.
I think the white suit and the red beret lends credence to what you're doing. You know, if we're in a uniform, if you're in a uniform of some sort, people go, "Oh, this guy's legit."
It's actually really good.
You know, if we're just guys dressed in whatever, like our jumpsuits or something, yeah, people are going to be suspicious. What's this guy in a jumpsuit and a gold chain giving me fresh pepper? But if we have a uniform, Greg, I think you're underestimating how powerful a uniform is.
I also think you're underestimating how many jumpsuits I have. Jumpsuit? I don't have a jumpsuit. I'm even not sure I know what a jumpsuit is. Like a spacesuit? Like a jumpsuit? What's a jumpsuit? What's a jumpsuit?
Like a sweatsuit.
Sweatsuit.
Yeah.
I don't even know we got to get jumpsuits, man. I got to do more jumping.
I think we got to get white. I think if we're going to do this, we got to do it right. We got to get white chefs.
Yes. Those chef jackets.
And with a red beret. And I think that if you come, I think that 25 people do it. If we come in a white, if we look professional.
If we come in those white chef outfits with maybe a hat, you know, those little, like, I would say 25, maybe even more people are going to take the fresh pepper.
Dress for the job you want.
Jumpsuit.
You got to dress for the job you want. No, Michael, can you go what running with the people who dress for running with the bulls look like? And tell me, Greg, if this isn't us. This is
now,
us.
Is this when running with the bulls? You're talking about when you get assaulted by Michael Jordan, or that's stupid.
I'm talking about Scottie Pippen.
Running with the bulls.
I'm talking about Pamplona.
Man, I love it. That sounds like diapers. I gotta get some Pamplonas for my little baby.
I
That's
think it's
what.
like a really
Wow.
bad SUV or a really good lunch meat, Pamplona.
I'm gonna call you Mr. Hammer because you nailed it.
Is that a great uniform for us, Greg?
Yes.
If we're gonna do this fresh pepper thing,
That might just be a great uniform for us to wear on every show. Full white,
I personally
red
like
out.
it.
Yeah, that's great.
Is that
That's
House
great.
of Gucci enough for you, Greg? I know you're big on the House of Gucci now.
Did you see it?
House of Gucci?
I got the screener. You can't borrow it.
No, I
Look
like
at me.
Lady Gaga a lot. Can I say that? I really do love Lady Gaga. I like her music, and
Yeah,
I love
she's a great
her.
actress.
I think she's a great actress. I love Lady Gaga. So
Well, how do you
I'll
feel
say-
about Al Pacino?
I love
He's in
Al
it.
Pacino.
He's in it.
He's in it?
He's in it. Yes. How do you? This is a star-studded catch. Jared Leto. How do you feel about him?
Love him.
In it. How do you feel about Adam Driver?
Greg, I don't like this has turned into like a trial.
Yeah.
Where you're
on the stand.
slowly asking questions like you're trying to lead me into a trap. And I don't appreciate that. It feels like you're
Swear to
leading
tell the
me into
truth. Don't lie to me. How do you feel about Adam Driver?
I do know he's a big head, right?
Great giant lord-sized head.
I do like him. I do like him too.
He's in it. He's in them.
What's he play? He's not an Italian.
He
Looks Italian though.
He
could
pretends to be
pass.
Italian.
He
Nobody
could pass
gives a
for
shit.
one of us.
Nobody gives a shit if you're really Italian in a movie. That's the one race where they go, everyone just have a blast. Not a single Italian was cast in this movie. It should have been all Sebastian Maniscalco, like goddamn Eddie Murphy in the Clump movie.
Greg, do you get offended when we lose work to non-Italians?
I got to be honest. I want to say yes, but the reality is I applaud. I applaud anyone attempting to be our culture because they know they want to be us, and I love that they want to be us.
I know they want to be us too. They want to be us so bad.
And that
and they love acting like us.
And the more they do it, the closer we get to loosening up the fist a little, and that's the closer I get to playing Bernie Mac in the biopic. Because that's all I want to do.
No, it doesn't work the other way, Greg. You cannot.
It will eventually if we keep letting the Italians do it. You telling me, Mike, you cast the Bernie Mac movie. I walk in, I go, yo motherfuckers doing a neck here. I'm cast. Yo motherfuckers, tell me that. You crazy motherfuckers.
Before you did that impression, I would have said no, but you won me over. You're cast.
That's DASRITE. That's right.
And I think this is a message. Can I say a message to RCA? You lost a very talented guy. 7 years he gave you of impressions, of jokes, of different things that he was doing online. And
whoa.
7 years you let him go. And now he's a Spectrum man. He's always kind of been on the spectrum, but now he's committed to it.
Whoa, Mike. Friendly fire. You tried to shoot that gun at RCN, but instead you shot at RCA, one of the dead Beastie Boys.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can I amend it?
Amend, please.
Can I get it back?
Yes.
It's the RCN. RCN, you screwed up.
And Mike has now chimed in and said MCA. RCA was a video camera company.
Okay. You corrected me, Greg, and you corrected me wrong.
I did. Double wrong. Can I take that? Can I amend?
You. Do you understand? I was taking up for you. That's like somebody bullying you, me punching them, and then you punching me.
Yeah. Well, can I amend?
That's what just happened.
Right. And I'd like to amend. Dear MCA, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I corrected. And dear RCA. Oh, who am I supposed to be apologizing to? Let's just move on.
This next story, Greg, comes right out of tennis. And this guy, I was reading the paper this morning, and he was, could you bring up the story, Mike? He's a tennis villain.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike, could you just give us a little info on it? Because I love this story. This story, this is us right here.
Right. I'm ready.
So Russian tennis player Daniil Medvedev at the Australian Open had a meltdown on the court, and one of the insults he gave was calling him you are a small cat.
Okay, so Greg, first of all, I love a meltdown, Greg,
Yeah.
you've been in many meltdowns before. I've been your friend for
Yeah.
a long time, and you love them. And I love a nice meltdown. And this guy melted down and started yelling at the ref, who sits on the he sits right on the net. So it's like he's just yelling at him. He's just screaming at him, and I think it's great. And the guy managed to pull it together and won this, advanced in the tournament.
But what did he call him? A small cat?
A small cat.
You small cat, you.
You small cat.
Thanks. Okay. Fair.
Well, does the guy realize that there's a shortcut to calling somebody a small cat, which is like, you're being a kitten right now?
I thought you were going to go somewhere else, and you went the better place.
I think that's what the guy meant.
Yeah.
He was using his motion skill level, but he's like, you're being a kitten right now. You're being adorable.
Whoa, look at that forehead, brother. Don't get hit by him or your brain will explode.
That guy was losing it, and it was on Twitter, and he was screaming at him, and his opponent's father was commenting after every point. So he goes, he just gets a comment after every point. He just gets a comment out of every point. And the ref, after a while, just stops responding. And he goes, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. It's kind of the way I talk to you off air, Greg. And it's just, I just think not since McEnroe. I used to love McEnroe because he just would melt down. I love to see just the realness of it. Somebody just, because I know I can't fix anything, and when I go to fix something, things usually go wrong pretty quickly, and then I start like doing that. I start freaking out. Oh, it's the directions are in Swedish. The directions are in Swedish. So I guess I just learn Swedish now.
Oh, I'd also like to add, you can't spell macaroni without McEnroe. What's his name? What's his first name? They should have a mac and cheese. McEnroe's mac and cheese. That'd be a great street truck for him to have.
McEnroe, in my opinion, should be a way bigger star than he is. I love McEnroe.
John McEnroe. Yeah, me too. Mac and Rowe.
Yeah, you're right. He should do mac and cheese. John McEnroe, mac and cheese.
You and I should do a buddy cop show called Mac and Rowe. I'll be Mac and you be Rowe, and then we kill dogs. The whole show's about two cops who kill dogs.
Why would we kill dogs?
That's never been done before. Have you ever seen a cop show about? You ever seen a show about two cops who kill dogs?
People love their dogs, Greg. We'll be the least watched show on television.
And that's what they said about Walter White. And he said, I want to do a show about a meth dealer. So why would someone want to do that? We hate meth dealers. Well, I hate people who kill dogs. That's why Mac and Rowe, the cop killing dog duo, is going to do well, because we're going to make him so likable. We'll understand it. He's killing.
There has to be some kind of.
Kid wants to go to college. What?
There has to be a twist. The dogs have to be Nazis or something for us to like get away with that.
Dude, we'll workshop it. Nazi dogs. Fine.
We're workshopping it now, Greg.
Yeah.
And you know what? To be honest, I think that we need to have a lunch and maybe a couple of breakfasts over this, because it's not going. This meeting is not going that well for me.
So you're going to red light it? You're going to red light McEnroe, the dog killing cops?
Yeah, I have to. I mean, Greg, your pepper idea was. I love McEnroe. I love the fro.
Too. Great fro.
The fro and the headband. He's just the best.
He was great.
Do you enjoy a good tantrum, Greg? Because I really do. I enjoy a good tantrum.
Can I tell you a real story? Real story that happened this week?
Yeah.
Real story this week. I'm at the cellar. Mr. Godfrey, not Gilbert, Godfrey alone. Which, I do not know his last name, by the way. I questioned that. Godfrey, Woody and I are talking. We're having a great time. And Godfrey goes, we're connecting on something. He goes, let me ask you, do you have a temper? And I go, yeah, of course I have a temper. But I said, but I've got it under control. I haven't had a meltdown in forever. I had to work really hard to not lose it. Cut to 3 seconds later, I'm on stage. Talking to some woman. She's yelling. She's being shitty. And she goes, I think you're aggressive. And I went, fuck you. How's that for aggressive? The crowd cheered. Walk off. Godfrey's like, he's dying. He's like, I thought we had this under control. And I was like, I guess we don't. I had a complete and utter meltdown.
That's great.
This week.
That's amazing. Great.
Yeah. When you're kind of aggressive. Wow. I mean, the crowd was on my side. This lady was a filthy whore. Godfrey's last name is Dancing Man? It was too small. I pulled it up on my computer, but it was real small. I could see his real last name. I think it was Dancing Man. That can't be right.
That's not Godfrey. That's not Godfrey's real name, is it?
Yes.
Wow.
Dan Chima.
Oh,
Wow.
that's like, okay, that makes sense. Godfrey's from another. He's a race, right? I don't know how to put that. I did not know it has that question.
Nigerian,
African.
I believe.
Nigerian.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Godfrey.
All right.
So you do have a temper, Greg. You told the lady off. And
I lost it. And then and I didn't tell you the best part.
On TikTok, you would be famous now, and we would be in theaters.
I asked Liz for the tape. I walk off. I see her yelling at the manager. I go, I got this. I put my hand on the manager's shoulder, and I noticed the woman is crying. And I went, maybe I'll just keep on going. And then the lady that later the manager said she wasn't crying because of you. She had been heckling every comedian, and then went on to say that she didn't like that we were. What's the word? It was anti-religious because gay comedians were performing. She said we were all. I can't think of the word. God, like not sacrilegious. She said comedy because she believes. Yeah, she said it was sacrilegious. She believed in this faith called Baha'i faith, which is some wild religion that I'd never heard of. That is a religion that is all the religions or something. Yeah, she was like some crazy woman. Crazy woman.
Right.
Anyway, that's Greg's corner for today. Greg's hot second.
Well, I'm glad you could sniff out that you hate God and that you're. I'm glad she could sniff it out.
I don't hate God. I hate that woman.
But were you being aggressive, Greg?
When I told her to go fuck herself.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what happened was because I said I do this thing where I go, I abandoned my religion. Anybody else here abandon their religion? She raised her hand and I said, what religion were you? She said Baha'i faith. And I went, oh, what is that? And then she went, well, 300 years ago. And I went, oh my. I went, oh my God.
She want to make it about herself.
This is it. Baha'i faith.
Oh, wow.
Give me something, Mike. Give me a little bit of what do you got in there?
What is it?
What's it about? It's like it's a not crazy religion. It's just all religions are
from the Baja Boys from Who Let the Dogs Out.
Who let the God out? Who let the God out?
Because if that's a song based on that, I'm way in.
Yeah, I think I would be too. Let me okay. Sorry, I had a text from a faith follower from the Gregs. I have my own religion. It's called the Imaginariums, and they follow me into hell. Yes, Mike.
It is a new religion teaching the essential worth of all religions and the unity of all people. And it was developed in the Middle East.
That seems fun.
Well, I mean, it sounds like unity, but it didn't sound like she was trying to. That's a weird way to convert somebody by heckling them.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what the whole religion is. A religion based on heckling, Greg? Would you get behind it?
I wouldn't because I'm a comedian, but I do want to get back to your religion of religion based on the Baha men. This should not just be thrown under the carpet and left for the next guy who moves in to look at. I think we need to look this up. Who let
the dogs out?
Who let the dogs out? But not quite to DAWGS's.
I love that song. I used to request bring on stage to it because I love it. I love it so much. I love that song. It's a song that's like not about love. It's not about heartbreak. It's not about getting somebody back. Mm-hmm. It's like a half a song, half investigation. It's like if you really ask the question, like who let the dogs out? And he keeps asking it because the person is probably a liar that he's asking the question to, and they keep denying it or leaving the room, and he just keeps following them around, asking the question. I love it.
Two things about that song. One is it's a great test to see if someone has an imagination. Because I always go, hey, do you have imagination? They go, no. And I go, well, do you like Who Let the Dogs Out? And they go, no. And I go, well, you're pretending to not love that song. So you clearly have a good imagination because everyone loves it. Two, you should read the lyrics to Who Let the Dogs Out because Who Let the Dogs Out is actually a very pro-female song. The song is literally about, and I'm not joking, it's about people harassing women, and the song is Who Let the Dogs Out? These people are a bunch of dogs. The lyrics are like, you see like a hot girl and you yell at her, who let the dogs out? Who? You got to read the lyrics. It really is like this. No one even realized that it's like a very pro anti-sexual harassment song.
Wow.
Yeah. Who let the dogs out?
And I love that song.
And now you'd love it more, I bet.
Actually about dogs getting out and people looking, because I think it's a song about responsibility. It's about people letting dogs out, literally letting dogs out, and then not taking responsibility for it, you know? If you made a mistake and you didn't lock the gate, then just you need to say it and you need to come forward with it. But if you're just leaving gates open and dogs are leaving and there's no accountability for it, I just think it's wrong, Greg. And I think that the Baja Boys really started going after people.
Again, I'd like to then just reiterate what I said in the beginning, that this song is about sexual harassment and not actual dogs being let out.
Well, I didn't take it that way, Greg. I've been living in I guess you called me out because now I'm living in a delusion because I didn't interpret the song the right way. I guess I have to go back and look at the lyrics now.
Mike, do you have the lyrics? I feel like he does.
I feel like we're having a confrontation, which is good for podcasts.
I feel like we do. And I'm a little upset. We're almost 59 minutes. Look, who let the dogs out? Who? Well, the party was nice. Oh, the party was pumping. Yippee-yi-yay, everybody having a ball. I tell the fellas start, until the fellas start name calling and the girls respond to the call, I heard a woman shout out, who let the dogs out? Who? Who let the dogs out? Who? And it keeps going. Scroll down a little bit for me. I see the dance people had a ball because she really want to skip town. Get back, Gruffy, back, Scruffy, get back, you flea-infested mongrel. Gonna tell myself, hey, man, not get angry to any girls calling them canine, but you tell me who let the dogs out, who. See, it's about not sexual harassing women.
Greg, you're right on this one. I thought it was literally about somebody leaving the gate open, letting dogs out, and I thought it was pro-humane society, and I thought there was a whole other level to it. But you really, you're right. It's
not canine liberation. You thought it was canine liberation.
About men trying to get women to come away with them, and this song empowers women. You're right. I was wrong. Song.
But I think, art is open for interpretation. So I think you can also have it both ways.
No, you can't. Art is interpreted one way. And in my world, the way I was raised, when you're wrong, you get a crack. And that's what you did to me emotionally just now. You cracked me in front of everybody on the podcast.
Well,
you have to bring me back up now because it's going to ruin the one idea that we had on here that could really make us, which is the fresh pepper idea.
Bad ideas don't make the man. All right. We've all got bad ideas. And I would be a liar if I didn't also say that I thought that the song was about letting dogs out. And the reason I Googled the lyrics is because I wanted to know if in the lyrics they explain who caught the dogs and put them back. Right. But that's when I found out it wasn't about actual dogs. I wanted to know how the story ended. Are the dogs dead? Are the dogs back? Were the dogs maybe just escaping Mac and Roe, the dangerous detectives who were trying to murder them? It could have been what it's about.
Right.
But it's not.
It's not
freedom.
About it.
Freedom from harassing construction workers.
It's about toxic masculinity, Greg. And you make a great point.
I like masculine toxics. You get like a little poison and it's all beefed up. Where am I going? No one knows. I'm on this street and there's no houses. The lights are all off.
I think that you went from RCA to Spectrum. I think you just did that emotionally on that remark. Greg, I think that 1 hour in, I think we should end with a benediction. Do you have do you want to bow our heads? And we've been doing benedictions that are pre-written, but I think that we're artists and we're writers and we could come up with our own. So I'll start. Lord, thank you so much for this podcast and for bringing Greg in from his parking situation. And thank you for misleading his DNA father, his biological, into watching House of Gucci, which he endorses, and hopefully I'll be able to also watch House of Gucci. Thank you for giving Greg a fancy coffee to get his energy up to do this podcast. Thank you to Michael V. Suarez. We have gratitude for him for bringing up the things we don't know, which is basically everything. And I would like to thank Katie Hannigan for leaving the hotel room for 1 hour so that I could do this delicious macaroni-related podcast. Amen. Greg, do you have anything to add as far as a benediction?
I would just like to thank Mike V. Suarez and Mike V. Keown, my good friend. And I'd like to thank Aruba for keeping you warm. And I'd like to thank Tita for keeping it quiet, all the things I've done. And I want to thank Oculus Quest, which I'm about to pick up today and enjoy myself and lose some weight in a boxing game.
And please, God, look out for us to be better men and not the dogs from Who Let the Dogs Out, which we know now is about toxic men yelling at women and bros before hoes.
Good night and God bless.
Well, that's the Macaroni Rascals. And thank you for joining us. And hopefully we'll be together soon. Greg, I miss you.
Miss you.
Bye, guys. We'll see you next week.